To the Rift. Everybody excited, ready to get into this game. We are 9 weeks in. 81 games so far in the spring split. Now TSM versus XDG is going to face off on the Rift.
Maybe some gimmickry coming out from XDG early on in the game.
I like that word.
This is still the 4.3 patch, so the trinkets will be able to be placed at 1 minute 30 seconds. I expect we'll see a lot more of this type of invading once the 4.4 patch hits, but not today. X Special. Ooh, trying to charge up his stun, but if he's standing in that spot, he would be able to see XDG coming around. It's actually a pretty smart brush to stand in against a Thresh. He won't get blindsided by a hook over the wall. He'll see them and be able to run away.
Yep, slowly playing it safe. Everybody else has kind of spread themselves out across the map, so they know what's going on, and they're going to keep it safe, as we say. Hard hats on here for XDG, and Team Solo Mid's just going to wait it out. See what Wild Turtle can do with that Lucian in the early game. He loves to apply early pressure. Special will get in there. Always trying to figure out how he can get the double stun in. You won't see him really use it until he can get both people locked up, majority of the time.
Yeah, very brutal bottom lane Wild Turtle and X Special. X Special, just a note. We mentioned it in the preview show a few days back, but he leads all NA/LCS players, and actually LCS players, in kills, KDA, goal per minute,
yep.
Pretty much every relevant stat, aside from kills per game, which Bjergsen has, because he was out for his 6 games.
Yep.
Bjergsen's actually still 2nd place in kills in the LCS, despite missing basically 3 weeks worth of games.
The team just keeps it going. We were just talking about X Special. He's done that all on only 3 champions so far. Somehow he's able to find Annie, Thresh, or Leona so far in 9 weeks of the LCS. Now Annie in this game. We'll see how the bottom lane fares for TSM against XDG's Caitlyn and Thresh. Smithy picking up the blue. Looks like he won't get too much help. We've kind of put a focus on that level 2 in the bottom lane, and you won't see the junglers getting too much help lately.
Yeah, I do think it's really interesting how the jungle pulling has evolved in these pro games. Level 2 in lane has such a premium now that AD carries and supports aren't even helping the jungler because they're just trying to push the wave as quickly as possible. It makes it a little bit harder on junglers early on in the game, quite honestly.
Everybody's going to stay safe for the majority of the early game. Mirrored wards disappear on the bottom side of the map, so it does get a little scarier. But the buddy system will keep the AD carry support safe. We do see the hover from the odd one towards the bottom side. He's going to go for golems. I don't know if he's going to get something too early. Let's see Zuna getting aggression here from X Special, and that passive shot is going to put more into Zuna. Doing a great job at making sure that she really isn't too much of a threat.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do on Annie if your AD carry gets hooked early on in the game. Stun the other AD carry, and then just trade the damage, because Thresh himself isn't going to be crushing Wild Turtle without that AD carry support. And here might come an E.
It could happen. We'll have to keep an eye on X Special's Pyromaniac trying to charge that up and get the stun down. Level 3 for the odd one. The red buff still ticking on him, but it looks like they're not going to pursue a gank. They do see Smithy in the mid lane real quick. I believe Bjergsen might have gotten an eye on him there, but he's going to head down, and they might match up with odd one.
Yeah, that's the best thing a enemy jungler can do against Eve, is just see her in the jungle, because that lets every lane know. It's basically like having wards. Notice how there's actually no wards down for TSM, mostly, because warding the river or your conventional ward spots just doesn't work against Eve. It's very... changes the game, really.
Dyrus doing as a Renekton would, pushing up to the turret here. Benny's taking a few hits, but he's able to keep the CS within range. Dyrus is going to take an advantage there, and we'll see how big that gets in the next few minutes. Mid lane isn't going too bad either. Every lane actually going in favor of TSM. Like I said before, XDG really needs to get a good clip and a lead out of the lanes to do well.
Exactly. Like we said in the pregame, TSM is going to look to dominate these lanes. Even though Odd One hasn't been ganking, the presence of him should scare back XDG a little bit. It's not actually doing so very early on in laning phase, because Zuna and Sheep are still pushing up fairly aggressively. But even so, the TSM laners are just playing better right now. Stronger champion, slightly better play.
Smithy towards the bottom lane. Like we were saying, this is his first time on Kha'Zix coming into the spring split, although he did have that position in AD carry previously in the first few weeks. But we'll have to see. He was the most improved jungler coming out of the spring, or I'm sorry, the summer. We'll see if Kha'Zix really puts an impact on this game for him.
Yeah, very slow start. TSM doesn't need to do much because you can see just from the lanes, they're already picking up a fairly large edge.
500 gold easily in their favor. Bjergsen can make sure he gets these attacks on while staying safe. You can see ManCloud not full health. Bjergsen having a great time in a safe spot, just throwing shurikens out all day long. See what Smithy can do to react. It's really on him in these next few minutes to kind of tilt the game. Sixes are about to come up. We can see the mid laners are halfway to 6 right now, and it's going to be that help from the jungle.
Yeah, trying to find ways for XDG to maybe get a bit of control in this game. They're going to want to do a fairly early dragon or dragon fight with Gragas, where ManCloud would have the ability to separate TSM's team. They also might want Benny to come down a little bit on Shyvana since he's already losing the lane to Renekton. And Kha'Zix wants more fights. That's the biggest thing for him, especially once he gets that ultimate evolution. I believe he would evolve his R now with the new Kha'Zix because of 2 seconds of stealth instead of 1. I think that's what XDG would want to do. Up until that point, they just need to survive and make sure they stay at least even on item breakpoints. That's going to be a big thing for them. This
works out really well. We'll see if ManCloud pushes this lane, because he just got 6, and Bjergsen would have had to back there without getting it. But he himself gets it. I was going to say Dragon was going to become a little easier for XDG there, but everybody will be ready with the ults at that time. 6.5 minutes in, Dyrus looks like he's full rage in that top lane. Benny doesn't want any of that level 6 to level 5.
Yeah, real strong early on. Not too much more to say about TSM's game plan here because it's fairly straightforward.
They're not being pressured in anything else.
They're not being pressured. This is kind of how you would expect a 8 versus 1 matchup to start in North American LCS, with just TSM crushing the laning phase and having control over XDG.
That was a good move by Smithy there in the mid. We did see the gank, but previously he was trying to find the odd one. So he's keeping it in his mind that they got to put some aggressive wards down, as he did at the Wraith. If he sees the odd one, it's a huge one-up. If not, they get a gank in mid. So we'll see if they keep that in mind as well. They're still down about 400, more than that, 800 gold right now. It's going to be a big thing for them. Oh no, 1,000 gold, I'm sorry. I'm looking at it wrong.
What numbers are we reading? This is a whole bunch, but it looks like a little bit of action in the bot lane, actually.
Oh, coming up onto Caitlyn. Very nice try for Zuna. We saw Zuna getting hit up quite hard in his last few games. In the preview show, he was going down time after time again, and it was on that Caitlyn. He's been trying to do a lot. 4 plays now, 1 in 3. He's trying to bring that record up along with the team.
The dragon fight should hopefully be forced by XTG fairly quickly. One negative thing about TSM not really buying many wards, or sorry, XTG not buying wards, is they wouldn't necessarily have control over the dragon pit. But because they want to go for it, they're putting down a lot of pink wards in the area, so that if Odd One does come to try and help, they can just maybe even do it. They might think about doing it straight up now.
This is quite scary. A level 5 Smithy. Odd One just hit 6, but he's low on mana.
He is taking way too much damage for this. But if TSM doesn't react because they just shopped in the base, they will be able to just get this dragon uncontested.
Wow, XDG really putting a risk on this one. High risk, high reward indeed. It's going to take him a little bit longer. ManCloud's even going to get back to the lane before he loses too much experience to the turret. You only have 500 gold difference now to that 1,000 that just was.
Yeah, it kind of goes to show how much they were losing the lanes, how they can take an uncontested dragon and still be down.
Yeah.
400 gold. TSM won't want to let that happen again in 6 minutes. That's going to be the fight, I think, that would really break out. There's a chance this turns into a very low-kill game, just with the way the lanes are playing out.
We see actually Bjergsen.
Here they come, though.
It's going to be the ultimate coming out of the flash. Tibbers, one goes down. That's Sheep. He gets harvested. Zuna's going to be the next. The calling. He throws down the barrier. It's going to be more hate spikes. And the final one takes down Zuna. Good control in the bottom lane at 9 minutes.
Yeah, really nice timing on that gank by TSM, because even though they gave up the dragon, they immediately knew what to do to get back at them. Knowing that the dragon was so early, fight mid.
Oh, Bjergsen going hard. Oh, very nice. Oh, the ignite goes down. The turret shot hit. That's why you didn't see more damage come on, because he had already taken the damage, and he gets out alive.
Yeah, that was an outplay by Bjergsen. He didn't even have to burn flash for that. But the timing of the dragon by TSM, when a team does a very early dragon like that, they would know that Smithy would be very low on health. So just running in for a full-on gank like that, they know they're not going to get 3v3'd, and it's an easy 3v2 move for them, meaning it's a very safe gank in the bottom lane. Mid lane, of course, was just Bjergsen being Bjergsen.
Yep, Bjergsen actually getting the blue buff from Odd One as well. We'll see how he takes this in consideration. Blue buff allows him to throw out Qs, means more damage, means death to ManCloud.
Yeah, it was interesting. He had his W clone out a little bit longer, and right before it was going to die, he teleported back to it, got a hit in, and then started his ultimate. So he really snuck in damage at the opportune times. Surprising man cloud there.
Doesn't look like the off week did too much to Bjergsen. He was getting what he needed on the EU West servers. 15-6 to 13,000 gold right now. Only 10 minutes into the game, and TSM is definitely taking a commanding lead. Core items almost being built up. We already see the Lizard Elder built up onto the odd one. It's going to be more objectives for them and more control.
Yeah, the kill on ManCloud is also very well synchronized with this push in the mid lane, because they know that the blue buff is off of ManCloud, meaning his wave clear potential is a lot lower. And if they want to rotate and try to get multiple turrets down early on, they can.
So many options for TSM to go forward in this game. Right now, they're just choosing the slow roll so far. They haven't really taken down the too many turrets except for the one in the bottom lane. And Dragon's going to be up in a few minutes, so they're going to go top side for now and see what they can work up.
Benny has ultimate, he has pretty much everything, but no one in this top lane is shopped. They might be very surprised that more people on the map exist here, and we'll see how Benny reacts.
Everybody took a boat over to the island, and they're ready to dock. Here we go, Oddwin and Xpecial coming off first. He's going to make him walk the plank. Benny tries to get out of this one on the backside, though, and it looks like he's going to burn Flash, as well as the Dragon's Descent. Everybody's going to be heading up here. Bjergsen looks like he's holding middle because he's being pushed in from Xmithy and ManCloud. Yeah. He has tied his shoes real tight going coast to coast.
Oddwin's got to be real
on the
careful.
burnout. Xmithy comes around, and Benny's going to make it out safely.
Really good escape there by Benny, finding the right angle to escape the three-man gank. Even burned the flash of Dyrus. So a lot invested there. XDG has to make something else happen off of Benny's big play.
Oh, Turtle's got to put on the hard shell for this one. He's going real low. Barrier goes on. He's holding him quite well. The net takes him down. Sheev gets himself just out of turret range.
Good reaction there by XDG, and a very dangerous move. Wild Turtle did a nice juke of the flay, but still didn't have enough because it was a very brute force two-man turret dive.
Huge wards coming up behind XDG, keeping them pretty safe so they can do dives like that. Sheep already had the Sightstone coming in, as well as Xpecial in that bottom lane. Right now we're 3-1. We're just 12 minutes in, and there weren't too many kills, but they're getting racked up now, and that's what we like to see. Still only one turret, though, as it's been killed on the champions, not on the turrets.
Yeah, and now, though, that Benny's ultimate is down, he's in a bit more danger in the top lane. Odd One's hoping to find a counter jungle opportunity onto Xmithy. He would have timed his red buff the second time around. He knows it's coming up soon.
And check this out. We've been seeing a lot of Tiamats, a lot of aggressive starts, and this still counts as aggressive, but Dyrus is going for that Blade of the Rune King with a Cutlass first on his Renekton.
Yeah, it's a very interesting build. I think he's just going for even more lane killing power. Benny's letting Dyrus shove in anyway. So he doesn't care about shoving extremely quickly with a Tiamat. And as far as chasing him down, the slow from the Bilgewater Cutlass might come in handy for him. So that's why he's going that build.
Rocking out the Ninja Top, being the top lane for now. He is against quite a bit of AD and didn't want any pressure from Xmithy coming in. Slice and dice. You can see the damage trade's actually pretty even back and forth. And Bjergsen again, I'm going to be taking that blue buff.
Yeah, I mean, Zed still uses it for energy cost, and he can spam a lot more, even though energy comes back fairly quickly. Cooldown reduction on the ultimate as well is nice. Wild Turtle's got to watch out! Oh,
the Fog of War playing against Wild Turtle on this one. He cannot get out. XDG, very nice play.
That's just, I think that's a big misplay by Wild Turtle. He was obviously trying to get vision of the area, but knowing that Odd One had just taken the red buff on the other side, if they probably just weren't communicating, because Odd One should have told him that Kha'Zix may have been near, and he shouldn't have been that far up.
Instant Morel and Namakan build up here for ManCloud as we see the bottom lane getting pressured. XDG should grab this tower.
Yeah, nice moves in the bottom lane by XDG. Really, a lot of that happened off of Benny's great escape in the top lane.
Yeah.
They're at least staying in the game here.
It's a good point. Interesting how little things across the map can really escalate and just kind of create a ripple effect. Now down towards the bottom, you see that turret go down. It evens up the turrets. Gold is still a bit of a deficit here for XDG as they try to get themselves around. They're still trying to get forward wards in and keep themselves in this one.
The roaming really starts happening now because both AD carries and supports are free to go. Knowing there's a flash up on Annie as well makes everything more dangerous, and this is a big dragon fight. You know how TSM realized right after the dragon had been taken They want to get everyone down here in the bottom lane. Darius making it very obvious that he's up here. This should be an uncontested dragon.
Ooh.
It's just a matter of how much turret damage Benny gets.
Darius is 11, Bjergsen is 11, ManCloud is not, and neither is Benny. So they got ults leveled up on that one as well. So like you said, going to TSM, a smart move for XDG. They got the first dragon, they're equaled in turrets. The laning phase and a few kills is really where you're seeing the discrepancy.
Yeah, look at that CS difference in the top lane. It was more. It's now 33 because Darius spent all that time to roam down. And because Benny hadn't even been near the turret of Darius. They are able to get the dragon trade for not much negative consequences.
This could be something big in the mid lane for TSM if XDG can't come up big themselves. It's already Lucian and Annie going their Wild Turtleneck special. As we see Benny coming up top here with Xmithy looking to get some kills onto Darius. He got those Ninja Tabi, so not going to take too much damage, but Xmithy can still get a good chunk on him.
Yeah, Darius has to be a little bit cautious not to completely all in Benny here, but outside of that, he is in a pretty safe zone.
It's kind of one of the good things about
Renekton.
No, Zuna, very close, flashes to keep the distance. One more shot, he's not even going to need it. Look at that, he just walks away from the explosion.
It's a very unsafe zone there. Bjergsen showing why he is the best Zed player in North America. Wait a little bit so he can E all the creeps at once. Blade of the Ruined King plus Brutalizer is the point in the game where he kills the AD carry. He found him.
This is what makes it hard to play against an Eve. The regular wards aren't really going to make you privy to Eve's presence. It looks like they're not really going to be able to get too much damage down. Darius just going for the tickle fight.
I really wonder. Odd One's probably waiting in the wings, hoping to find some gank support. They don't want to dive the Shyvana, but they're trying to catch people helping out Shyvana.
Sheep giving a little bit of help to ManCloud here in mid. Getting some souls for himself. ManCloud at 148, as we were saying. Picking up a bit of CS here to Bjergsen at 159.
Ooh, jungle fight. Nope.
Pink ward. Ooh. Yeah, he did not want any of that. So Xmithy keeps that top side of the jungle a bit safer for the team as they might be rotating top side. It looks like they're going to want Benny sometime soon.
Let's actually pay attention to how long that pink ward lasts for XDG.
Yeah.
It'll be a good indicator of how much control or fear exists in this game.
They put high priority on their bus. They got one on each.
Yeah. If Odd One's able to go in and get those, it'll mean XDG has completely lost control.
Something ManCloud definitely needs. Xmithy as well, to be sure and keep the mentality of the team up, knowing that they can walk into their own jungle. They can set up their own ganks, because once those paths are closed off, TSM is going to know exactly where and when they're coming into a fight. 4-2, 17:30 into the game as Wild Turtle again gets himself into a sticky situation, but enough out of that one that he gets himself to safety.
Yeah, still has Flash and Barrier up. This is a split push by TSM. They're trying a bit of a, it would be a 3-on-1, but they have even too many people off on the side for it. So that means XG is trying to counter by pushing up mid lane. They can't stay there very long because the split push of TSM will eventually overcome and take the side lanes.
Looks like they know Benny's going to have to back. Special is kind of closing off and cutting the pie there so nobody else can make it through the jungle. They're going to probably kill Benny in that top lane as ManCloud comes to hover on the bottom. Benny gets away safely, and Wild Turtle's now the focus, but Odd One throwing down the ultimate, and he keeps going. Agony's Embrace into the hate spike. Zuna's going to throw down the 90 caliber net. No red buff for Odd One means a safe Zuna.
That was such a nice W by the Odd One as well. He ate the slow from the box and then W'd to cleanse the slow. It didn't end up burning anything extra. It was just really nice skill usage. They caught a couple XGG members still playing in the anti-split push way when everyone had peeled back.
Bjergsen getting a little ahead of himself on this one. Anti-Pansy, there goes Xmithy with the ultimate down. He's going to hit Bjergsen with a quick Q. One more auto attack coming in. The assist goes to ManCloud.
But meanwhile, in the mid lane, they did kill Zuna, and all that collapse down in the bottom lane is granting TSM a turret.
Going to be able to take out the wave as well that's coming in, so they have a little bit of breathing room, but they got to watch Benny from the top side. Very low mana. Odd One gets hooked from the max range. Sheep on the flash play, actually stopping the flash from Odd One and then hitting it up with the hook. Good kill coming in for Benny.
TSM a little bit sloppy in this game. Honestly, they have won the lanes by a lot, but they are getting caught in a few rotations by XGG. This is mostly reactionary play, but this was the nice kill. Flashing in for Zuna and just deleting him off the map.
You're supposed to be safe in between your turrets.
Well,
sometimes. Sometimes.
TSM has a habit of killing Zuna over and over again. It happened during Super Week as well. They really picked on him. He was 1-6 or 1-7 by the end of that last game.
Sometimes when you can get under that person's skin, and even not even under their skin, make sure they're just not the same level or same experience, it can really hurt them. But to Zuna's court. He is doing a great job. 11-11 as Wild Turtle actually just hit that. 161 to 160. So even though they have his number, he's sticking in this one.
I mean, maybe some of the Zuna picking on comes from all the way back at the start of the Season 3 Spring Split. Zuna used to be the guy who would try to vocally intimidate the enemy team by yelling really loudly after all the kills. Because
Vocal
back in the old
warfare.
studio, players were fairly close. You could hear the shouts through the microphones because they were fairly close to each other there. And it was actually, when Chaos was on TSM, he would try and counter with yells of his own. TSM has the last laugh, though. They tend to win these games.
Indeed, especially 2 turrets up, but 3 turrets down right now. They're definitely turning out the lights on the side of XDG. Each one of those turrets that goes down creates a little bit more fog that you are not sure about walking into. 25 seconds on the Dragon. Should see Xmithy start to hover down towards the bottom side of the map, but you see TSM is already in place to set up that defensive wall. They're already a few steps ahead to be at Dragon.
This next fight could break the game wide open, or just catching XDG. Everything XDG is doing is reacting to what TSM has planned.
Oh, Bjergsen says, yes, hook me in. This is what you want. But he got taken to the other side as well. The Deathmark takes him down. Odd one. Throwing down the W, keeps himself safe, and XDG is left to scramble.
Cyrus is inside 4 people right there.
Yeah, he is trying to do what he can. Throws down the call to Meek. That had a full rage onto it, a half rage rather. But it looks like they will get a good engage. I don't know about the follow-up, though, to keep it going.
It's all good because there's the Dragon coming up. Like I said, XDG is just getting pushed around by TSM. Yes, they've been able to pick up a couple kills off of TSM's aggression, but it's just not enough. This gold lead is just going to continue to grow. All the pink wards that XDG had set up in their own jungle have been killed, and this is maybe a suicidal defense.
TSM is one of those teams that knows when they can pressure a lead. Great smite by Odd One, gets that down. The Dragon is TSM's, and it looks like they get the kill as well onto Xmithy. They are just throwing themselves into these fights. They know they have the power to.
Yeah, Xmithy tried a desperation steal there. It's almost like XGG is just hoping that someone is going to make a play. Xmithy tried at that point, but it wasn't like the whole team was on the page. He was the only one who went in. Everyone else had to just run away.
ManCloud building up the Morello Namicon first, trying to do what he can against Bjergsen in mid. Does not have the Rabadons, doesn't have the Void Staff, isn't in a position to carry the game for his team. XGG is really going to have to hold out here for the long haul if they want to make an impact and getting back. Maybe TSM messes up at the Baron, but right now, like I said, they have the chance to mess up. They'll still be in the lead.
Bjergsen wanted to kill somebody over the wall. Is he going to stop his back? Yeah? He just wants the minions. He's greedy. He's pretty close to his last Whisper. He can easily go back and buy it.
2,400 right there.
He might be trying to get a Black Cleaver and a last Whisper, but I don't think he has quite enough for that.
Oh, he's pretty much the main damage source. We saw Dyrus did have the Cutlass, but right after that, he goes for the Banshee's Veil, like straight out.
Oh,
that
he
Warden's
did have
Mail,
enough. That's
Warden's
why he got
Mail
that last
didn't come in. Yeah, wow, yeah. So he goes for right for the Black Cleaver and Last Whisper. Money bags.
Yeah. Whoever he goes for is going to die. Unless XGG gets a lot of armor and health very soon. Yeah, TSM has a monstrous lead here. It's just grown and grown because XGG's been getting pushed around so much.
Very strong play from all the lanes. We didn't get any roaming from ManCloud or even Bjergsen, but I think that was Bjergsen's control of the mid lane. He knew he didn't need to go anywhere. Wild Turtle Special had bottom with the Odd One, and Dyrus was just doing his thing in top lane. You can see that already, or that right now, I should say, 254 to 183 in that lane, and it's second tier turret.
It's across the board. Literally everyone on TSM has more CS than their counterparts, even the supports and the junglers at this point. And these pink wards are futile, it seems, for XDG. If someone would walk into that brush, they would see it and be able to get rid of it. Any minute now, they're going to check that brush.
Strong pink ward stays alive.
Yeah.
See where they go from here.
Get it!
Cheers for the strong pink ward. Wild Turtle in mid lane, farming up some sieges. He looks like he's in a safe spot right now. Zuna has not left the safety of his team anymore. He knows he is being targeted out here. TSM has some satellite overhead scanning whatever position he's in. They find a way to get to him.
Yeah, and this is just the 3-1-1 split, the 3-1-1 split push by TSM. 3 people in the mid lane. They never really know where Odd One is, so both the solo lanes can't feel safe for XGG. And this time, TSM's deciding to head up top and get some turret pressure. But here comes the spike.
That was a very nice barrel, but yeah, the death mark's gonna go down. You know when it's marked, you can see those shurikens above his head. Little treat trick.
Yeah, unfortunately the barrel took Zed with him when he was trying to body slam away. At least he has his Zani's Hourglass now, so he will be somewhat immune to that. burst of damage.
He's still got a good bit of damage out, but that means a good bit has to happen more than once, so ManCloud cannot go down immediately in these fights. Whoa, Smithy takes a double
might still be
Q.
able to get him.
That ultimate is halfway up for Bjergsen. He doesn't really have any shadows to play with right now, only that escape. He could go back right now, but I don't think he's going to be able to. A quick Q from Smithy, and it looks like that could be Baron going down. They pull him into it. It's going to be the Smite going down from the odd one. That's 2 dead XDG members as Benny tries to figure his way out of the Baron pit. Dyrus coming up from the other side. Looks like they're going to sandwich in the Dragon.
XDG just doesn't have enough resources to respond to what TSM is doing right now. They needed the jungler down bottom to kill Bjergsen, but that means they have no smite for the Baron buff and not enough damage to push them off. He gets called.
Zuna trying to do what he can, but he doesn't want to get too close to that party. Looks like they're going to be able to do a little bit of damage to this turret, but not fully take it down just yet.
Yeah, back and forth, 11-6.
Okay, they're
TSM
taking it
still
down.
taking this down. Dyrus is just a monster at this point in the game.
Yeah, Zuna, I figured Zuna would have done a bit more, but I didn't see his inventory. Only the Zeal right now after that Bloodthirster, so he has just been stranglehold in the bottom lane. And red buff being taken away, Zuna trying to steal it, but he cannot even get close. Just the one-offs TSM is getting right now is creating such a lead for them. 10,000 to be a matter of fact in gold, 5-2 in turrets, 26 minutes into this one. They've won since the lanes, and they're methodically doing it after that. TSM, as I said before, is one of those teams that knows when they have a lead, and they're able to pressure.
And this is a really nice execution of just a good split push by TSM. They've been able to get this huge lead, completely avoiding team fighting, where Benny and ManCloud would actually be fairly strong, and XDG would be able to hop around and get some resets. That is a pretty scary Zed in the top lane. It's just he's swapped lanes a little bit since there's Azanya's on ManCloud's side, and also the team can probably go take that exposed turret down to the bottom. I'd like to call it the middle turret in the bottom lane. Does that make sense? Inner turret. That's a better word.
Well, we'll see what they have. Bjergsen's very strong, and XDG really has nobody that can take that damage. We just talked a little bit about ManCloud, but that's about it. And Bjergsen's, he can go for Benny. He probably won't in the fights, but we already saw he can take Benny to half health as well. So how can XDG fight these if they even engage?
Yeah, they would need to be able to kill a split pusher in a 1v1 at this point, but they just don't have the capability of doing that right now. That means while they're trying to rotate these turrets, they're getting picked off.
Control of the jungle is definitely Team Solo mids. They own both halves of the map right now, even with the amount of pink wards in that topside jungle for XDG. 2 turrets going down, or 1 turret going down, as the top one is also being pressured. TSM looks to drop the inhibitor.
The pink wards aren't bad by XDG. They just don't have enough gold to fight these guys off because they've given up too many advantages. TSM brute forcing through.
Dyrus tanking that one pretty much from the start there, and it looks like they're going to keep going. It's Smithy doing what he can to the back line. He gets out, gets the stun from Xpecial, but it's not going to be enough. There's the coordination from XDG, but not the damage right now.
Nice inhibitor take. They might just rotate around. Maybe shot first. Bjergsen going in for Smithy.
Oh, nice, he got the Q. That'll do it. The shield not going to do enough. Bjergsen coming in, calculated.
Having fun on Zed, building more damage on top of what he already has.
It's always great to watch him on that
very
side.
mean play by him.
We saw the shadows. It's cool for us. BM to the other team. 13-6 as Dragon goes down once again in favor of Team Solo mid, as Dyrus hanging out in mid lane. He is quite a big boy right now. Looking to build in a Sunfire Cape next. Actually stayed on the Cutlass just for kind of that laning thing.
TSM has about 10,000 unspent gold in their inventory right now, but they have so much map pressure up that they're thinking about just continuing this push. It's been so easy for them, and they have Xmithy down. They're trying to get this before going back. It's slightly dangerous, but they should be safe.
They cannot even go off grabbing Xpecial right to the back line. Zuna goes down. He was what was on the menu for dinner. Benny's going to be there as well. Going straight past the turrets. The cast goes all the way through everyone. Doesn't really do too much damage. Turtle does go down on that one. That's a shutdown for ManCloud. TSM's going to be forced to scatter on this one, but they'll be back.
Yeah, 15,000 gold up. I feel like Bjergsen wants to try and get a kill.
Yeah, he saw that stun up.
Better minds do prevail. Did he get the pink ward? He sees it. He walked right past it. I don't think he saw it. They're like, hey guys, they saw you.
Oh, Smithy. Very nice.
It was really smart. He didn't jump all the way over the wall. He just jumped in range so he could smite it. Let's check out this last fight.
So it's Special getting grabbed, and then it was
It was
Zuna.
Zuna, yeah. They got the stun on him for the split second and allowed Wild Turtle to burst him down with damage. And then a very nice angled culling there by Wild Turtle to get enough damage down onto Sheep. But of course, when you dive that deeply into the base with all that unspent gold, people can come from their fountain with full health and mana, and that's one of the big reasons ManCloud could take him down.
So I thought the cast missed, but it did push Wild Turtle on that one. I was looking at the top of the fight. So ManCloud gets a good bit of damage on that one. They could have hoped for better. The base starting to become shambles right now as that bottom lane is taken out. Baron's up in 2 minutes. I don't know if TSM is going to need to go back for it, but they won't have any problems if they do damage him.
Yeah, and check out Bjergsen's build as well. He finished a Ravenous Hydra, which a combo. A lot of Zeds like to stack activatable items that deal extra damage during their death mark, because all that damage is stored up. So he's going to be jumping on, spamming all his abilities, also Blade of the Ruin King, plus the Ravenous Hydra active, all within that window so that the death mark hits even harder. If he wanted to go even more aggressive, he would build a Sword of the Divine as his last item, so all of his auto attacks crit. He's already a little bit excessive in damage, though.
We're saying it could happen, though.
It could happen.
All right.
GA would be the smarter choice.
We'll see. It's all damage right now for these guys. And Vision for more damage. He's got the Boots of Lucidity, so he can keep spitting out spells as well on those cooldowns. Xmithie's been soaking up that blue buff for his team because he's really the only one that can get out in the jungle to grab it. We saw him getting that smite last time as ManCloud was there to help, but to no avail. Zuna taking damage just from over the wall. Oh my gosh, they haven't even started the fight yet, and these guys are already down to half health on some. Wild Turtle eats that. It only takes a quarter.
Yeah, a little bit of Zed poke over the wall is getting a lot of this down. Hook on a Dyrus, maybe XDG would want to go because of how low Dyrus is at the very least.
Oh dear.
It makes it a little bit more scary. They got to deal with those super minions though as well. This is just too much for XDG to deal with. Already down 15k gold.
They got the minion split push going down in the bottom lane as that turret gets quite hit. Doesn't even get to use the death mark. It was an explosion. Cuts the arteries of Zuna. He goes down quick, bleeds out. It's going to be the inhibitor as well. 20 seconds on the Baron, but I don't even think TSM needs to look that far back on the map. That'll just be other court side. There's the box going down. They try to throw down the Agony's Embrace with the rest of the damage. Culling coming out, but there's a fight on both sides of the base right now. It's going to be Xmithie going down as ManCloud does what he can with the last two turrets, and Benny being up.
TSM only 32 minutes into the game. A nice performance. No questions about Bjergsen's ability to come back to the team. That was just 1v8 matchup. TSM extends their record to 18-3.
Great communication, very strong play, and it does look like the band is back together as Team Solo Mid picks up another victory.